Welcome to selfdiscoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sarah's View of Life, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. I have just come back from the most wonderful long weekend. I spent it with my friend who's in a new home. We had Halloween there, and all of her children and their partners came over. And even though it was bucketing with rain, absolutely monsooning with rain, 200 kids came by for trick-or-treating. They're still in the process of getting things organized, so I also hung all her pictures for her, making it feel more homely. And we just had a great time just chilling out, enjoying ourselves. And it was really wonderful. I don't have Halloween with all my family now, so kind of to be around her family and just the fun of all the kids coming over, and the togetherness was wonderful. Then I spent 2 days with my son and his wife. And my son and I have not had any time for a long time where we just get together and have a chat. We have a very big soul connection. We're both very spiritual people. And it's been a long time since we've been able to have one of those lovely, deep conversations that we normally have. And he took me out for a wonderful meal, and we really got into that deep philosophy and questions that we love so much. And it was really wonderful. We went to his restaurant the next day for breakfast, where he actually had breakfast with me, not running around in the restaurant. I had him sit with the back to everybody, so he didn't see anything going on, just could be present. And then I went and had a pedicure. And then that evening, after his Chamber of Commerce meeting, we were going to go and have dinner with his wife's parents. But unfortunately, her father fell ill. So she went over there, and it ended up my son and I having a takeout dinner at home, watching a movie, and then just watching America's Got Talent kid videos on just the incredible talent and transformation of a child. One moment looking all goofy, can hardly put a sentence together, and the next moment singing Janis Joplin and just transforming into something altogether. We had a good laugh of it, snuggling the dog and the cat, and it was really, 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 really nice. I got on that ferry the next day, really feeling my heart had been warmed, my spirit had been lifted. I'd been fed and fortified. Now, over here, my daughter has a 3-week-old baby boy and a 4.5 and a 2.5-year boy. And they immediately had a case of croup just after the baby was born. And it's navigating the balance between the newborn's needs and the other kids and just life in general. So I am back here doing my shows and then be back on Nana duty tomorrow. This show, of course, will be out the following week. So this would have all happened last week. But I had to, when I came off the ferry, go and see the baby. The other two were in daycare, and I just had to go and get my baby fix and just hold this little 9-pound baby boy on my chest with all his squeaking and just his little mullet hair, and just feel him and have that moment where the other kids weren't demanding anything, just that little moment of him. And so I am back with work and back with my grandkids and back with being very grateful for my life and my children. And it's wonderful. You don't need a lot of friends. You don't, it's nice to have I have a lot of wonderful colleagues and friends, when we go for lunch or dinner, and it's wonderful conversations, very deep and really good soul friends. But having those people where this particular friend of mine, Jan, I've now known her 41 years, and our kids have grown up together. They're extremely good friends with each other to this day, best man at the wedding, bridesmaid, and all of that. And it's wonderful to see that relationship. And we still have a relationship that's very deep, even though her life is extremely extremely full. She has a numerous amount. And I think that's kind of where the attraction is. We have a different connection, different friendship. And it's just wonderful because she's always been there for me. She's my little angel. I done a show on her in the past is that, don't look to the sky for your angels. Because very often they're in front of you. And when you talk about somebody who's been supportive and being there for you, she's it. And I'm very blessed to have her. And I have a new friend here, of just over a year, where I am. We're both the same age. We go out for tea, coffee, lunch, dinner, and just hang out. And it's wonderful to have that as well. Otherwise, I'm very, very engrossed in my work and my children and my grandbabies. And I'm not a pack person. I'm very kind of soloist, but I really love the company of a good soul and a good spirit and a good conversation. And it's very much an honor. I have a very busy month here for me in November. I have two guest speaking opportunities on the 18th and the 25th. And yes, I'm going to be talking about my knowingness. One will be knowingness in business, how to trust your gut instincts. And the other one will be channeling that knowingness, reconnecting to our heart and soul spirit talk. And both very different audience, but both exactly the same theme and content. And I look forward to those and all the other opportunities that are opening up for me. So life is good. But sometimes you just have to put a full stop and say, I need a break. I felt a bit guilty about leaving with the baby so young, but her husband is home. They have to, kind of navigate a routine. And it was just something I needed. I needed my son. I needed my son nectar and just devour him and the heart, soul, and spirit. And we hadn't done it in so long, and I missed it. And like we see each other, but it's not that same thing where we have a real soul camaraderie. And it's wonderful when the souls start talking together. And with my best friend and her family, and just it was very chill, very laid back, no big rushing around, but really, really, really nice. And I know I told everybody that I had a little toe up, a removing of embedded toenails, and the guy screwed it up, removed half the nail bed, which is a problem. So I went off to my pedicurist in over on the mainland, and she fixed everything up for me. Still got the problem, but cleaned it all up. She'd cut the other nail, and in future I would be avoiding doctors and make a trip over to the mainland to go get my feet done. And there's something that I came across that really sparked a show topic, which I'm going to do next week, is on trust. What is trust? How do we build trust? And how do I identify it? And I have a complete thought in mind, and I want to be able to present it in a way that I think we can really adapt to, adopt to, and embrace, because trust is a big thing. We lose faith in that trust when we've been hurt, but we can't hold it against everyone. And how do we rebuild trust? How do we trust again? And it's in the little things. And that's what we're going to talk about next week, how to trust again. So this is a short and sweet one this week. It's really about just kind of downloading that good feeling. I really came back feeling wonderfully connected. It actually had been worrying me that, I know my son and I love each other very much, but just not having that connection. And I missed it. And having that reconnection and seeing my friend in her new home and being able to help her with her pictures, and just seeing her with all her kids around her and the various others. And it's just wonderful to see. It was so uplifting. And sometimes, that's what we need to do. There's always going to be expectations, things that you should be doing, need to be doing. Somebody's asked you to do, or how can I take time for myself because there's so much on the plate? And you know what? You just sometimes have to remove the plate and say, I need to take time. And I needed this time. And not just because there's a newborn, just because it had been a while. And having that connection, going over there, just chilling out 5 days, that's all. And it made such a difference. So, sometimes pay attention to those signs. It's not like burnout, but at the same time, if I don't pay attention, it will be. How do I just take some time for myself. Maybe it's not 5 days, maybe it's a nice weekend, but where you drop everything else. I did some email, but other than that, I did no work. And it was good to step away from that, step away from any responsibility other than just being with good company and enjoying it. And we all need that now and again. So ask yourself, am I giving that to myself? Am I allowing myself just to chill, be with good friends, with loved ones, present in the moment, no work,